everyone! This week we're creating DIY wrapping paper using a custom handmade stamp. To get started, we're first going to create a pattern for the stamp, so just take a piece of paper, and it doesn't matter what kind, and fold it. So I've just folded this section here. And then we're going to draw half of whatever design you want to create on this fold line. So I'm just taking a pencil, and I'm going to draw half of a Christmas tree. And you can make it large or small. So it looked like this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out. So I unfolded it and it looks like this. So now we're ready to create the actual stamp. I'm using this craft foam, and it's a thicker kind. It's about a 1/4 inch thick, and I got this from Michael's. And you can probably use the thinner kind also, but this worked great. So I'm just going to take my pattern and I'm going to trace it onto the foam using a pencil. So once you've traced it on, remove the pattern and it should look like this. And then you can either cut this out using scissors or an exacto knife. For me, the exacto knife was a bit easier to use. And if you're going to use one and you're young, please ask someone older to supervise when you do this. It can be easy to hurt yourself. So once it's cut out, it looked like this. So now I'm just going to add some details to the stamp. This is optional, but I'm just taking the back of the exacto knife, so the side that doesn't cut, and I'm just going to press down and drag it to create lines on the stamp, just to add some details. So I repeated this all over the tree. And it looks like this, and you can see when I tilt it that those lines are indented. So now we are ready to make it into a stamp, so I'm just taking this wood block that I got from Michael's, and I'll be attaching the foam to the wood. So just decide how you want it positioned on the wood block, and then I'm just using some hot glue to attach it. So once it's firmly attached, looks like this. And then if you want, you can take the pattern and line it up with the stamp on the other side. And then you can draw around it just to give you an idea when you're stamping of exactly where the stamp is. And that's it for the Christmas tree stamp. So now I'm just going to use this technique to make other stamp designs. So for this one, I just created a holly leaf, then cut that out, traced it onto the foam, and then I cut 2 of these, like this, and then I cut some round pieces. So all together I had all of these pieces, and then I just took these and attached them to the piece of wood. So once they were attached, I just took the back of the exacto knife and I drew some veins into the leaves. And that's it for this stamp. For the last stamp, I just made a snowflake shape, traced it onto the foam, cut it out, and then attached it to a wood block. And that is the finished snowflake stamp. For the wrapping paper, I used this craft paper that was designed for wrapping presents, but a lot of different paper would work for this as long as it's solid colored. So for the stamps, I'm using acrylic paint and a plate and a foam brush. So I'll just put some paint on the plate and then use the brush to paint it onto the stamp each time I stamp it. And you'll get a different effect depending on how much paint you use. So once I thought I had enough paint, I just took the stamp and then just pressed firmly down onto the paper, making sure all parts of the stamp is getting pressure applied to it. So it looks just like this, And then for the second row, you can offset them or do whatever you'd like. So that's what the snowflake stamp looked like. For the holly, I just painted it red. And it looks like this. And when you're done stamping, it's a good idea to use a paper towel to wipe off the stamp just so you don't leave a bunch of paint to dry on it. And then finally, the Christmas tree. Looked like this. So for me, the easiest way to go about stamping the wrapping paper was to cut a piece that fit each present exactly. So I have my piece here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it now that it's cut. So it looks like this. And then I'm just going to let that dry, and then you're ready to wrap. And here is the finished present. And that's it! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this DIY stamped wrapping paper tutorial. If you like this video and would like to see future videos from my channel, feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great Christmas.